everyone. Welcome to the Speakeasy Brewer. I know it doesn't look like my garage, does it? And it isn't. And it doesn't look like my home. It's because it's not. I'm in a hotel. I'm out of town for work right now. Kind of a bummer since it's a holiday here. For all of you friends who are in other countries, today is the 4th of July for the US, and that's our Independence Day. So today's big celebration, and everybody runs around with her wearing American flags and going America. Anyways, I am not enjoying the festivities, which is something I'd rather be doing. I'd rather be drinking a beer and doing all that other fun stuff with people, but today is just not working out for me to be that or to be able to do that. I'm in Ontario, California today, and I was fortunate enough to be able to bring my laptop along so I can do this live beer stream. Um, so today, just so everybody is up to date with everything that's going on, today we are going to be doing another beer build. All right, looks like the internet's working again, so I really hope this works. Honestly, I might fix something real fast in terms of stream quality, and if it slows things down even more, I apologize. I'm trying to do what I can. Anyways, so there's that. But before I begin, I just wanted to let you guys know that if you like what you see today or are interested in what you see today and are excited to see the follow through as we take this recipe that we create today and we turn it into an actual beer a couple weeks from now. If you are wanting to be a part of that, be a part of this community, make sure to follow and set up notifications to see future streams. And for those of you who've been watching the last couple streams, I do apologize for the internet connection. I have no idea what's going on with my internet at home. Obviously, I'm in a hotel today, so hopefully it's going to sort itself out so that we can be doing this today. But for those of you guys who've been watching, I really appreciate your patience and your support as I work through all this stuff. Again, I'm still an amateur Twitch person, so Twitch streamer, so I need all the patience I could get while I figure this out. And I just promise that it'll eventually become awesome just over time. But also, I have a Discord channel. You can see it on my Twitch page. Just click on that link and it'll just join up there. We're going to talk about everything that has to do with beer, maybe a little bit of coffee as well, because I also roast my own coffee that I put in my own beer. But I'm also a coffee snob as well as a beer snob. And we'll have conversations about life as well. So make sure you join there. Any updates as well will be posted there as well. And then, so hopefully I figured out my technology at home. Hopefully every future stream will be awesome and I won't have any more streaming issues. Godspeed to me. Hopefully. But again, I wanted to do another shout out to Some Goner and Decipher. Those two have been really helpful in helping me to improve my stream so that it's more enjoyable for you guys and it's a better experience for all y'all out there. So thank you guys for your help with that, and for all of you who are following and interacting and joining the chat and conversations. And I really appreciate it. You guys really do make this channel what it is. So thank you for that. All right. So otherwise I'm open to feedback and critique as well. So if you want to send me some whispers along the way saying, hey, you can improve this or you can improve this, I'm open for feedback. I'm not going to try and impress anybody, but I do want to make sure that my experience that I create for you guys is enjoyable one. So anyways, let's get going with today. So like I already said, we're building a recipe for a beer that we're going to be calling the Messy Pig. So the cipher specifically asked that the beer be named the Messy Pig, and I asked him what kind of beer he would like to be brewed, and he told me that his favorite beer is Red Stripe, which is a Jamaican lager. So we're going to do our very best to create a recipe that is somewhat similar to that. I probably won't be using a lager yeast for this particular beer, but I'll be using something very similar to kind of get that lager feel that we are going to be shooting for. Only reason I'm going to be doing that is just because I don't have enough room in my refrigerator to ferment 2 lagers right now. So it's just capability and space right now. But we'll find a really good yeast that will help create that nice, clean, crisp, almost lager mouthfeel experience. Your friends on over here to follow as well, and have them set up notifications and have them get engaged with the community here. I would love to just talk beer with everybody and brew beer with everybody, and I want you all to be a part of it. So please send your friends this way, and if you have sent people over this way, go ahead and send me in a whisper and say, hey, this is the person I sent over. They followed you. They've watched a few of your videos and blah, 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 blah. And then I'm going to stick you on a list. I would love to have every one of you have a say in what sort of beer recipes that I create. So anyways, I see one viewer jumped on. So, hey, welcome. I appreciate you joining me today. We're going to be building a beer recipe for a beer that we're going to call the Messy Pig. And that is a beer that Decipher has requested we make. And I asked him to choose the next beer because he helped me. In terms of the bitterness of this beer, I'm not quite sure. There's not a whole lot of information. Obviously, it's its own, some breweries don't put out all their information, which is totally fine. So that's what we're going to be shooting for in terms of beer today. So I've got myself a Google Doc here for creating this beer today, and I will kind of explain everything as I go along. And if you are a home brewer or you're interested in brewing beer eventually and you want access to these recipes, just send me a whisper or a message in Discord and I'll make sure it's available to everybody, because I want everybody to be able to have access to all this stuff. Because brewing your own beer is a blast. And when you brew your own beer, you just have a ton of beer on hand all the time. You don't have to worry about spending a whole ton of money. Most of the beers I brew right now, I think it's about $50 on average that I spend on ingredients, and it makes about 50 bottles, 50 12-ounce bottles of beer, or I think 42 pints of beer if I keg it. So it's a lot of beer, and when I did the math, I think it was equivalent to about $1.50 per bottle. So pretty dang cheap, much cheaper than you could get at a store. So that's kind of cool. So with every beer that I'm going to be brewing, or whenever I create a recipe, I always start off with an objective, like what's the point? And this is when I spend a lot of time like really thinking about the beer that I'm wanting. And sometimes I'll think of a beer for weeks or months before I actually put it down on paper. In this particular case, we're looking at a simple amber lager. So with that, I think about lagers. I want them to be crisp. I want them to be clear. I want them to be clean, and I want them to be pleasant. But then, since it's an amber ale, we're also looking for something that's a little bit sweet, maybe low on the bitterness level. So we're going to be finding hops that will add just enough bitterness, and who knows? And we might even want to find a hop that's going to provide something that's kind of aromatic for our nostrils. So since it's Jamaican, it's kind of exotic, I guess. So maybe we're gonna shoot for some aromatics that are maybe fruity. So we can get those from hops and yeast. But we're also going to be shooting for maybe like just a kind of a sweet, crisp, dry, but full-bodied beer flavor on the mouth. So that's what we're kind of shooting for. So I'm going to write that down as my objective when I'm thinking about this beer that we want to create. So again, we're looking for an amber lager style beer. We want it to be clean, clear, crisp, and what did I say? Sweet, with some exotic floral aroma, low bitterness, yeah, I guess that's it. And the alcohol content on the red stripe beer is 4.7. So that's kind of what we're going to shoot for. So an amber lager style beer, It's clean, clear, crisp, sweet with some exotic floral aroma to represent Jamaica, and low bitterness. All right, so that's what we're going to do. And then the next thing we're going to do is a grain bill. Okay. So grain bill, when just so that everybody knows, I'm going to come back to this screen real fast. Um, and for whoever's watching, thanks for watching. And I hope the stream is going well with my hotel internet. So thanks for your patience. Hang in there. All of my streams will hopefully be better now that I got some better technology at home. But when I'm in a hotel, God only knows how well it's going to be. So grain bill. Grain bill is going to be every type of grain we're going to be using in the beer, and we're doing an all grain beer, which means that we're getting all of our sugars, all of our flavor, and all of our color from the grains. We're not going to be using syrup or extract or any of that stuff in the beer. So there's that. So um, and in terms of the clean flavor and the sweet flavor, as well as and kind of the dry mouthfeel. Well, the dry mouthfeel is probably going to come from the yeast and maybe the hop if it's going to be a nice clean hop. But we're going to be shooting for the sweetness and color from the grains as well. So we're really going to be shooting for just the body and flavor, color of the beer in the grains. You'll get a little bit of aroma from that, and then the hops are going to be for the bitterness, as well as the aromatics, as well as the flavoring. If we choose to add a little bit more hop flavoring to it, and then the yeast will be the one that will kind of make it dry or crisp or really really clean. It just really depends on the beer we're brewing or the yeast that we're using in the beer. So I will show you every single website that I use normally to create these beer recipes. And again, if you are interested in brewing your own beer and you're not quite sure where to start, hopefully you can see my process and that'll kind of give you a good jumping off point. But if you're interested in or wondering what type of equipment you need to kind of get yourself started, just shoot me a whisper on Twitch, or you can join my Discord and ask me questions there. I would love to empower you guys to make your own beer. It's a lot of fun. It's just really pleasant, and I get to bring you guys along with me in that journey. Makes it way more fun. So anyways, let's go back to the drawing board. All right, so we're going back to the website. So we're going to go to the grain bill real quickly. Knowing that it's a lager, I'm gonna go find a. Let's see. Let's go to German grains. So this is brewyourown.com, and I just go to grains and adjuncts chart. This isn't an exhaustive list of malt, but you can find pretty much all the malts that you would need here. If you want to get really crazy, you can find all the lists all around the internet, and sometimes in books too. So I just use this for now just because it's just a great resource. It gives me a description of the profile that I can expect from the beer or from the grain in terms of like coloring or aroma or flavor, or whether it's going to add body or not, that kind of thing, or if it's going to have head retention. So those are the things I'm looking at. The G right here, this little column that's got G, that means gravity. This is the gravity that the grain has, and the gravity is just basically saying what the amount of sugars. Basically, that's the simpleton form of saying that, is just its amount of sugars that grain is capable of producing for the beer, which will provide food for the yeast, which creates CO2 and alcohol. And then the L represents lava bond. So there's that, and then obviously the malt over here. So we're going to be looking for a Pilsner malt. So let's see, Belgian grains. I got to just find this Pilsner malt, and then we'll be good to go for everything. Okay, Pilsner malt right here. And the reason is, so the Pilsen malt right here, the 8 pounds, that's going to be our base malt. So that's going to give us the majority of the sugars and just kind of the base color to work with. So we're going to get something from here, since it's a 1.5, just something really, really, really light yellow. So it's going to be perfect base. And if we wanted to work on it, adding a little bit of extra color to the beer, we can add some different malts, like an amber malt or a Cara red. So that's something that's going to add a little bit more red color. And so going back to this, looking at this, I'm like, all right, it's kind of like a pale ale color. So I don't really want to have a whole lot of color associated with this beer. So when it comes to choosing the grain, we're going to be looking at very low lava bond colorings. So let's see, British. So I'm going to go to British because I feel like with this, for the amber color that we want, we're going to be wanting to choose something like a crystal malt. I don't know if I want to do this high of a crystal malt. Actually, sweet caramel flavor adds mouthfeel, head retention for pale or amber ales. You know what? Let's do that. Crystal malt. We're gonna make it a small amount though, because crystal malt can go a long way. So let's do 1 pound of crystal malt. And there are several types of crystal malt with different lava bond levels. So everything from like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and on up. So we want to make sure that we do 60 so that when I go to the beer store, I go in there and I say lava bond 60 crystal malt. Might choose, you know what? Sometimes it's good to keep things simple when you're choosing a malt or a grain bill because it can get really complex really fast. And it's exciting because you're like, well, I could do this, I could do this, I can do this. So here we go. We've got an amber malt here too. That would be good because obviously we're creating an amber ale. Well, it'll be something amber. Won't be a amber lager as much as we'd like to be close to that with the red stripe, but we're going to find a yeast that's going to give us something as close as we can get to a lager without it being a lager yeast. I need to be able to ferment this beer at least 68 to 70 degrees just because of the capability I have right now. So imparts a dry biscuit flavor. So let's do an amber malt as well. Amber malt. And let's do that being 1 pound as well. We're going to do 1 pound of amber malt. And let's turn this into 2 pounds. I think that might be good. And a Vienna malt might be also really nice. So let's just go back to the German grains real fast. I think Vienna malt's down there. All right, Vienna malt. So European lager, malted kiln slightly more than a Pilsner malt, full-bodied, golden color. Okay, so there's something we need to know. It's a lager. It's used for lagers, European lagers. It's full-bodied and golden in color. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do 2 pounds of Vienna malt. Okay, 2 pounds of Vienna malt. I'm going to do, let's do 2 pounds of crystal malt and then 1 pound amber malt. That should give us something that's sweet. It's going to be amber in color, and it's also going to be, it might be a little high on the alcohol content, but obviously that's not always the worst thing in the world. Oh, let's see. Sometimes it's good to not have so many different types of like specialty grains in there just because it can sometimes get a little too complex and then they kind of overload each other. But you know what? This might be good. I might stick with this for now, and at a later time, I might go check it out. And before I finish this, we'll come back to the grain bill, and we're gonna put this into an app that I have on my phone called Beersmith 3. I'll show you what the app looks like. You can get it on your phone. It's free and you can create recipes on there and you have access to hops and grains and all this other stuff. And there's a lot more there that's available. I don't like the way it works right now, at least on my phone. If I had it on the computer, it might be something different, but I can get all the list of grains, but I have to like click each one to read the profile. And it would be nice if I could click it and then have the profile next to it. And so I can kind of read it as I go through or have it be like all out so I don't have to click on anything. So if anybody here is part of Beersmith, please make that an option for mobile, or maybe it's already an option for computer. I'm not quite sure. All right. So let me just come back, make sure if there's any questions. Okay, I still see one viewer, so thanks for sticking with me. Hopefully this is working out well. Um, with the hotel internet, I'm not quite sure. We'll see. So, but again, thanks for joining me. Um, if you have any questions, just shoot me any questions in the chat. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the um, recipe. All right. So we did the grain bill. The next thing that we're going to look for is hops. We won't need a whole lot of hops because, again, we're shooting for something. Let's go to hops right here. We're going to be shooting, let's do 2 types of hops. We don't want to get super crazy. We talked about doing something that would be like exotic and floral for the aroma to represent Jamaica, since we're kind of shooting for a Jamaican style beer. And then we're going to find just any hop really to create the bitterness that we want. All right, so there's Aurora right here from Northern Brewer, or its counterpart is Northern Brewer. Here we got floral, citrusy, herbal, aniseed, and tea aroma. Might be that I really liked. An A, Aurora, floral, citrusy, herbal, aniseed, and tea aroma. I want the tea, or not the tea, the aniseed. It could be good. Let's do that. We'll do Aurora. That's just going to be we're going to do 1 ounce of Aurora. And this is going to be for aromatics. Looking for exotic and floral aroma. Okay. Now we're going to do a yeast. So with yeast, let's see if I can't crash the internet. ImperialYeast.com. I really like Imperial. And then we'll look up Y yeast. The Y yeast. I want Munich Lager. I just want yeast.com. Here we go. Y yeast. All right, let's do beer brewing. Should give us everything we need. See all strains. All right, so we're going to be looking for beer. Okay, here we go. So we have a whole bunch of different beers right here, which is great. I kind of want to make it an amber, like a British amber ale, because I believe, Decipher, you're from Britain. Correct me if I'm wrong. I want to find explore strains. That's all I want. Wow, they've changed their website recently. Okay, here we go. So these are the different strains that we can go for that are available to home brewers as well as large breweries. We're going to look for something. Let's see. Go here. I want to look at this one first. So we got a British ale. We're going to look for something that can be somewhat clean and crisp. I don't really, I don't want to do a lager strain because I can't ferment. So we're going to find some Flanders Golden Ale. That might be a good one. Belgian wheat, Canadian Belgian. European lager, Pilsner. Okay. Scottish ale, Yorkshire ale, Belgian strong, Northwest. Let's see British ale real fast. I feel like that's what we need. Oh, look at that. It will finish crisp, clean, and fairly dry. Wow. I think that might be our winner. It's got high flocculation. So flocculation is basically the ability for so if you are on the Discord server, I've put up a photo of the most recent beer that I brewed, and it's fermenting right now. And there's a whole top layer of foam and krausen and bubbles and all that stuff. So when the beer is done fermenting, that's going to fall out, and that's called flocculation. So the ability for it to flocculate and fall out And in order for there to be a clean, crisp, and clear finish, you want high flocculation. That means everything, all the yeast is just going to fall to the bottom when it's done fermenting. And then the attenuation is basically the effectiveness of the yeast to eat the sugar. So there's a 76% potential of effectiveness for eating the sugars. It means it's going to produce more alcohol. And we've got the temperature range that we want, 63 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. So I need to make sure that when I do ferment this beer, I need to be able to stay within that temperature zone. Should be able to do that no problem. Since it's not a lager, it's not going to take very long. It'll take 1 to 2 weeks. If I can maintain that temperature for 1 to 2 weeks, I think that'll be good. So honestly, I think I might just stick with this. This was a very good first pick. It was very lucky. It also helps. So classic British ale profile with good flocculation and malty flavor characteristics. Okay, that's what we want. We want malty, sweet characteristics. I think this is a really good option. I've never been able to like click on one and be like, oh, this just happened to be the right one. Okay, so it was British Ale 3. So it was in Y yeast, British Ale 3, right? British Ale 2. British Ale 2. And that's 1335. All right, and I'm just going to copy this because this is what we're shooting for in terms of the flavor or the profile from the yeast. So very good, very good. Wow, this is turning out to be good. I really like the hops that we chose. I think the East Kent Golding bittering hop is going to be a good option because it's also floral and also amplifies the sweetness of the beer. And then the Aurora is going to just be great because it's going to be providing that floral, herbal, aniseed kind of tea aroma. And that, I think that will be really, really pleasant. I think what we have here so far is going to be pretty darn good in terms of just a simple beer. It is a simple beer, really, is what it is. And it you know what? The simpler it is, sometimes the better it is. So here's what I'm going to do next. I always do additions. That. So I need to clear the additions. I always add Werflock tablets to my beer. This helps clarify the beer at 15 minutes of the boil. It clears the beer up. That's what I always do. And then I'll usually make notes for additions at the very end of it as well, at the end of the beer. Okay, so before I continue, let me come back. I see one viewer still. It looks like my internet is barely hanging on by a thread. Probably going to show like a billion different streams, but you know what? That's okay. That is okay. We're figuring it out together, and again, I thank you for your patience while I figure this all out. So I'm gonna go to my phone, and I've got Beersmith 3. It looks like this. It's got the pint glass on it. I'm gonna click that, and I'm basically going to add everything that we just did. So we did Pilsen malt. It's gonna find one Pilsen malt. I said 8 pounds. Okay. You can kind of see as I don't know if you can see it. So as I add the grains, it'll change the color. And then these sliders over here are going to start changing as well. So right now, with just 8 pounds of grain, that Pilsen malt, we're going to have 4.3 estimated alcohol by volume. Obviously, no bitterness yet. And we're looking at just a really beautiful, clean gold color. We also talked about crystal malt. And we did 60 Lava Bond. We said 2 pounds for that. And this is just a great way for me to see the color as well as kind of get an idea of whether I need to have all those grains or not. So it just depends. Because again, I might be making it a little too complex. You don't want the beer recipe to be too complex because it can really kind of confuse your palate and it makes it makes the beer not as pleasant. Hold on. I forgot I had myself a coffee. It's getting cold. And you might be wondering why I'm drinking a coffee and not a beer right now. One, I don't have beer on me, and the beer store is very long distance from here. And two, I'm really freaking tired. I've been up since 2 a.m. this morning, so that's what's going on. All right, so now I added that one grain. You can see that the color is actually starting to go amber, which is great. And at this point, we're at 5.3% alcohol. Like I said, I'm thinking it's probably going to be more like a 7% alcohol. So cheers to you, Decipher. I will make it. It'll be Red Stripe, but better. I hope. Okay, what do we say? Vienna malt was another one. Vienna malt, and I think I said, let me look at that real quickly. Hold the phone. No, I'm holding the phone. Vienna malt, we said 2 pounds. All right, already I'm thinking I might have put too much in here. And then amber malt. Amber malt. And I said 1 pound. Okay, that's a little too dark. All right, so I'm gonna take out the amber malt. I'm not even gonna do that one. That's a little too dark for me. Uh, it just adds color, adds biscuity. I don't need that. I don't need that. And then the Vienna malt. That one is the orange in color, pale malt. And what did I see about that? Vienna malt, European lager. That's why they had that. So I want that to be probably more than the crystal malt. So I got 2 pounds of Vienna malt, and actually, you know what? That might be good. Actually, I'm gonna cut that back. We're gonna do I edit it. Let me edit it. Okay, we're gonna do 1 pound. Save. Okay, delete this. I don't know what's going on. It's glitching out on me. All right, so now what we got is it's much less of a amber color. It's more of like a dark gold color. It's kind of this. I'm gonna do 1.5. All right, so that looks like a beautiful. Oh, whoa. Okay, so that looks like a beautiful color. It's more on the darker, kind of like pale ale color side. It's definitely an amber ale. It's very similar to the color that we're looking for with the red stripe to make it very similar to that. So I think with that, that's pretty good. We're looking at 6.1% alcohol by volume, which is pretty good, and we're looking at 11.1 SRM. And SRM is just a way of saying color, so it's going to be light in color. But again, it's more based. You can't really see it in the camera. It's silly, but on my phone, it looks like it's more of like a dark yellow, an amber color. Basically, if you were to go to the Red Stripe page and see that beer, that's what it looks like. Okay, that's that. All right, now we're gonna add the hops. We said East Kent Golding, and we're gonna do 1 ounce at 60 minutes. That's gonna give us a bitterness of 16, which is great. We don't want to with a lager. You don't want it to be super hoppy. You want it to be just enough bitterness. I guess it also depends on the lager. It definitely depends on the lager. So with this particular one, it didn't sound like it was too hoppy, so we were not going to shoot for anything that's super hoppy. And then we also said we're going to do the Aurora. I like Aurora. If you've ever heard her music, she's great. She's great. And we're going to add Aurora in, I think I said 15 minutes, but we're so just one quick thing, making sure I've got everything figured out. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna do, what did I say? 2 pounds of Vienna malt, 1.5 pounds of crystal malt, 1.5 instead of 1, and then we're gonna not do amber malt at all. Okay, cool. All right, well, I'm pretty pleased with that. I think that's gonna be a pretty pleasant beer. Cool. All right, so there's that. Okay, so that's how you do a beer recipe. Honestly, this one was just a nice, easy beer to do. Again, we're just trying to copy the beer, if anything. So we'll see how it turns out. But anyways, that's what we're looking for the messy pig. We're going to be brewing it here in about 2 weeks, just because my July has gotten really busy. I'm going on vacation, not this week, but 2 weeks from now, the 12th through the 14th. So I probably won't be doing a stream. If I do stream, it's going to be using my laptop somewhere or my cell phone, and maybe doing a beer review of a local brewery, because you know what? It's good to drink beer and it's good to find new breweries. So for those of you who are out of state or out of country, I'll be going to somewhere in the country, and I'll be talking about some local brewery that will hopefully have some good beers, which every brewery has good beers. Good. Beer's good. Beer's good wherever you go. Even if you make it yourself, it's still good. It almost tastes better when you make it because you're like all excited. Um, I don't know how to cancel out of this. Um, anyways, I that was the wife. That was Brubella. I'm gonna call her back in here in a moment. So, anyways, okay. So for the rest of this, I just want to make just give you guys a heads up so you can mark your calendars if you would like to. If you would like to see the future streams. Again, the last two streams I did, I felt like beer, the beer brewing stream that I did a while ago was really good. It did get jumped up. I can't even talk right now. I'm so freaking tired. But when we holy cow! Just give me a second, okay? When we brewed Goner's beer, which was the German pills, I think overall that brew day went really well. My internet started cutting in and out on that stream, and then it hasn't been fixed yet. So I hopefully fixed it. I just haven't had a chance to try it at home yet. So I tried merging it all together, but the system I used to merge it all together wasn't able to merge it all. So I haven't been able to put it all together as one clip and then put it back on Twitch so you guys can enjoy it. So that was kind of a bummer. So I'm still trying to figure out if there's a way for me to do that. And then the last one I did was just horrible. It was a beer review with Brubella and myself, and the internet just sucked so badly. And that was a time that Decipher and PC UK or Peace UK, you all jumped on and you rated my channel, which was amazing. That was like the most exciting thing that's ever happened to me on Twitch. So I appreciate all of y'all who were part of that. I am really sorry for the quality. And then if this stream quality was horrible, gosh, I don't know what to say. So I really apologize for the bad streams lately. It just seems like I've stepped into some weird mess up of technology. And honestly, the laptop I'm using for all the streams is not necessarily the best laptop for streaming, but I don't really have any other options right now until I can afford a new streaming computer. So we're going to just make do with what we got, and hopefully it works. So real quick, before I let you guys go, this week on the 7th, we're going to be doing a homemade cider, hard cider, that is. It's very simple. You can make good cider in a very quick amount of time, and I'm going to show you how to do that, okay? So the 7th, we're going to be making a hard cider. It really does not take very long, and it's very easy. And if you want to make your own cider at home, I'll tell you everything you need to know. It's very simple, the equipment you need, and if you wanted to buy everything, you could probably get all of the ingredients and all of the equipment under like $80, all that together. And then with that includes the juice and the yeast and the fermenter, the bung, the airlock, all those things together. Maybe some star sand too, because you need things clean. So about $80, and you can have yourself 5 gallons of hard cider. So I'll teach you everything that you need to know for that. It's really simple. It's really fast. It won't be a very long stream, but we'll be drinking some beer while we do it. We're going to be talking about the beer while we drink the beer, and we're going to be making some cider. It's going to be great. It's going to be good. And we might even add some extra juice to it just to add a little bit of extra flavor. So that's what we're going to be doing on the 7th. And then on the 21st of July, that's when we're brewing the Messy Pig. So don't miss the 21st. Again, Please do not look at my last 2 streams and then this one and say, well, he sucks at streaming because his internet sucks. I know that internet sucks, and I'm doing whatever I can to really improve this. So please be patient. Please keep following. If you like the conversation, you like what you see, please just follow. I'm going to be improving my technology, my streaming capability, the mic, everything. It's just, I'm new. I'm new and I'm getting a feel for it. So I just need a little bit of patience there. So the 21st, we are going to be brewing the Messy Pig, like I said. And then what else? What else? Oh, yes. I'm going to be doing another beer or another brew day the following week. I don't have the exact dates on that yet because it's actually going to be a birthday beer for a friend of mine, and it's going to be called Fire Vixen. It's going to be a spicy amber ale. And yes, I've done a lot of ambers this last month or so. I don't know why, but I guess it's amber ale month. But we're going to make it a spicy amber ale, and I'm really, really excited for it. So my friend Katie, she is like a sister to me, and so for her birthday, we're going to be brewing the Fire Vixen, and it's going to be really, really good. She'll be joining me during the brew day, so you get a chance to meet her as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we got a really busy month ahead, y'all. So mark your calendars. If you can't make it, no big deal. The streams will be on Twitch, so you can see, and I'm going to export them to YouTube. I haven't exported the other ones because the internet sucked and they chopped up a whole bunch, so it's harder for me to kind of piece them all together and then I'll move it over. Once that's together, I'll move it to the YouTube channel. So if you miss anything, it's going to be on the YouTube channel. Also, if you miss it, it's going to be on Twitch for about 7 days um, before we before it comes off this. Yeah, before it expires, I guess. I don't know how Twitch works. I'm not whatever, an affiliate or partner or anything like that. So I don't get to have it up for like 14 or 16 days. So that's just the way it is starting off, but no big deal. Also, if there's any change in schedule, I will post it on Discord. I'll give you all updates there. And then I'm still figuring out the schedule here on Twitch as well, so I can choose specific days and all this other stuff. So once I figure that out, then I can post it on my channel and you guys can follow up with that. But those are the big days, the 7th, the 21st, and then the last week of July. I'll get back to you guys on the exact day that we're going to be brewing that. I'm going to wager that it's going to be about the 28th of July is when we're actually going to brew the beer. So those are that's what's coming up on the Speakeasy Brewer. Again, join the Discord server. We're going to be talking about beer. We're going to be talking about life. We're going to be answering questions. We're trying to create a community of people who enjoy beer and do good things in the world. So that's what we're trying to do. And yeah, thanks again to Decipher and PC UK or Peace UK, or however you pronounce that. Thank you guys for the raid. That was a blast. That was really exciting. Sorry about the internet again. And thank you so much for giving me tips and advice to improve my stream. And I also have to give a shout out to Some Goner. He was one of my first followers, and he was the one that really, truly gave me the launch pad to improve my stream. So for all of you guys who've helped me to improve the stream, to improve the experience for you guys, and who's really made my time here on Twitch, even though it's been short, just a really fun time. It's just been a blast. So I really appreciate it. You guys truly power this channel. This channel exists because of you. So thank you again. And let's see. So we've done that. Yes, I did make notes. I had a long flight today, so I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to say? Blah, 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 blah. And I can't read my writing because it looks like freaking Arabic. Something like that. Anyways. Okay. Well, that is all, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. If the internet sucked because of the hotel, it's the hotel. It's not me. Thanks for being patient and joining me on this beer build. Again, the Messy Pig. Thanks to Decipher. We're going to do this. We're going to make it happen. It's going to be a delicious beer. And I'm really, really excited to brew this on the 21st. So you all are amazing. Remember, be adventurous, stay thirsty, speak easy. I'll talk to you guys in a few days.